Welcome to Hotline TV. I'm Amy Walter.
And I'm Sean Miller. Today is another episode of VEEPSTAKES.
Yay! All right, Sean Miller, otherwise known as Veeps Guy. Obama today, he's in Indiana, that's hard to say, in Indiana, with two potential Veepers, Evan Bayh, ex-Senator Sam Nunn. What do you think? Is this a tryout for them? What do you think the odds are?
Well, Amy, I think the big surprise is Sam Nunn appearing at Purdue University in Indiana. Yep. Senator Evan Bayh, of course, would be expected to be there, but this is Sam Nunn's pet issue.
Right.
And
Dick Lugar's apparently too.
Right.
As he shows up in an Obama ad this week. But yes, we digress.
But I was going to say that I thought the bigger story on the Dem side is who's accompanying Obama to Iraq. Mm-hmm. And so, we saw back in March with McCain that he took a couple of old friends along with him. He took Senator Lindsey Graham and Joe Lieberman. Jack Reed and Chuck Hagel haven't really been out on the trail with Obama. So this could be Obama's version of the Memorial Day barbecue that McCain had.
All right, so this is really more of a tryout than it would be, say, for Evan Bayh or for somebody like Sam Nunn.
Right. This is them spending time together, with the press corps and with Obama. What's
interesting is, originally I've had many changes of thoughts, flip-flops, some may say, about this whole Veep thing. And at first I thought, Barack Obama, he's the yes we can candidate. He has to keep on that message, play offense, play to his strength. But the reality is the experience thing is a real problem for him. This is his first official act, right? That his first presidential thing he'll be doing.
Big decision.
And the reality is we know now, poll after poll showing that the credibility gap on his leadership is a real issue. So yeah, somebody like a Jack Reed makes a whole lot of sense. He brings military cred. He's been around Washington for a little while, but not too long. I still can't believe that either one of these guys, even though they talk about bipartisanship, could risk bringing a Lieberman or a Hagel on the ticket for what it would do to the base. I think it would just be disastrous.
Right, but the country needs to come together, and perhaps a joint ticket could be the way to go.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see. Well, I'm gonna come out as no on that, but I might be wrong. What do I know? All right. Republicans. Let's talk about McCain for a minute. What are you seeing?
Well, a lot of buzz actually around Mitt Romney. His name was being mentioned previously as being at the top of the list because of his fundraising prowess, but also now it's being mentioned simply as being the point man on the economy.
Right.
And so when his name comes up, I often think back to the primary and how he tried to position himself both as a stalwart social conservative and less so an effective manager.
Right.
And so I don't think he really ever captured either of those in the imagination of the American public. And I just think that bringing him on now on the economy, the question remains that he looks so good on paper, why didn't he win the nomination?
Right, well, because he wasn't believable on either one of those things. Or he certainly wasn't believable as a social conservative. And on the message of experience, what we saw for both of these campaigns, because he wasn't taken seriously as a social conservative because it looked like he changed his positions. People weren't taking him seriously on anything, right? But now he doesn't have to focus just on social conservatives. He can try to make his case broader. He was obviously, you pointed out too, he was in Michigan, his home state, hoping that Romney magic's going to rub off there for John McCain. And the other thing for John McCain is, as we know, it's funny watching his surrogates try to talk about the economy for him. Carly Fiorina does a very good job about it until she kind of gets off topic and talks about Viagra.
Right.
Then we have Mark Sanford, who should never be allowed on television again if you're the McCain campaign.
Big gap.
So here's somebody who could actually talk about the economy, knows how to stay on message because he's been a presidential candidate. Maybe not a bad thing. Plus, he loves beating up people.
That's right.
As candidates. I don't know if he beats up people. I'm just saying, as in a campaign mode. Sorry.
Now, one of the other things that's been coming up, there's an article in the Weekly Standard about this, is the enthusiasm gap on the Republican side. That that Republicans feel that McCain needs to pick a candidate or a VP candidate who will get people excited. And so one of the people that gets mentioned there is Mike Huckabee, and he was back in Iowa this week for the Republican convention and got essentially won his second straw poll, where he was picked by an informal vote to be McCain's VP. So one
thing, it's interesting though. One thing I'll say about this, and then wrap it up, is that John McCain's bigger problem now, and Republicans' bigger problem, is that the GOP base is simply smaller than it was 4 years ago. More people are identifying as independents. And so to win here, you can't just turn out that Republican base and hope to win. You've got to be able to get over to those indies. And so somebody like I think that might be a cut off your nose to spite your face sort of thing, to pick somebody like a Huckabee who will so, alienate you from moderates or independents. So on that, we're going to say goodbye to this episode of VEEPSTAKES.
That's it for today. Thank you for watching.
See you next time on Hotline TV.